Year 1984. While other kids played video games, a 12-year-old boy was coding his own video game. He was a genius, different from others, and that is why he did not have friends. He was badly bullied. But despite this, he did not lose courage. Today, that same boy has become the world's richest man by making rockets, electric cars, and AI tools. This is the story of Elon Musk. In 1971, in the city of Pretoria, South Africa, Elon Musk is born. His father was a mechanical engineer and his mother was a model and dietitian. In childhood, Elon had a problem. He would often go into a trance-like situation. During this time, no matter what was happening around him, he had no clue. The parents and doctors thought that Elon had a hearing problem, but later it was discovered that during this time his brain worked like a supercomputer. Focus on the outside world would end and all brain power would be used to visualize complex ideas. Basically, a whole science lab was operating inside his mind. Another habit of Elon was to read encyclopedias and science fiction books continuously for 10 hours, and by reading these books he became quite intellectual. One night he was playing outside with his cousins, then one of his cousins said that she was afraid of the dark. To this, Elon replied that darkness is only absence of light. Alan always responded to people in similarly logical and factual ways, which is why other children that didn't like him. In fact, he was badly bullied in school. Once a gang of students threw him down the stairs and beat him so badly that he had to be admitted to the hospital. But all these incidents made Elon strong to endure pain and hardship. Made him strong. Until the age of 8, Elon's family was a happy family, and this photo is from those happy times. But then within 1 year, everything shattered. His parents got divorced, but Elon decided he would stay with his father. At the age of 10, Elon saw a computer in a mall for the first time and was so fascinated that he insisted his father buy it. After some time, he got this computer with 5 kilobytes of memory along with a workbook on the basic programming language also received. Generally, it had to be completed in 6 months, but Elon completed all the lessons in 3 days without sleeping continuously. In 1984, at only 12 years old, Elon coded on this computer to create a video game and named it Blaster. It was a single-player space shooter game where the player had to use their spaceship to destroy alien spaceships. He even sold Blaster to a company for $500, and technically, this was his first business. By high school, Elon had realized that he was more capable than the other kids, and only one country could justify his capabilities, and that country was America. But before that, he thought of going to Canada because Elon's mother was a Canadian citizen, and according to the laws there, she could pass her citizenship to her children could be transferred, and in this way, 17-year-old Elon set out for Canada. In Canada, he started living with his cousin and began doing small jobs. In 1989, his mother and brother Kimball also came to Canada, and during this time, Elon got admission to Queen's University. Then within 2 years, he also transferred to the University of Pennsylvania in the USA and finally entered America. Was achieved. In 1995, after finishing college, Elon and his brother Kimball wanted to start their own startup. At that time, the internet had started reaching common people rapidly, but even then, to find local businesses or stores, people had to use city paper directories, which basically contained all the businesses in the city. There were details. To reach the store's location, people also had to use physical maps or ask for direction. Seeing this, Elon got the idea to create an online listing for businesses, a website where all the city's businesses would be listed and divided into categories like restaurants, hotels, and doctors, so people could easily search for them, along with an online map for directions. There will also be. Elon and Kimball started working on this idea by taking a small apartment. They named their startup Zip2. Elon coded day and night while Kimball went door to door convincing shopkeepers to list on Zip2. Would be dated. In 1 year, Zip2's team grew, the platform improved, and customers started joining rapidly. Later, Zip2 also started making software for other companies. Seeing this, Zip2 received $3 million and then $50 million in funding. By 1999, there was an internet boom worldwide, was at its peak, and big companies wanted to acquire good startups. That's why Y Compaq acquired Zipto for $307 million. Elon received a full $22 million in exchange for his shares, and thus the 27-year-old Elon Musk became a multi-millionaire. Elon could have retired with this money if he wanted, but Zipto's success was only 1% of his future. Not at all. By the way, if you also run a business or want to start one, keep in mind that just making a good product doesn't make a business successful. Along with the product, you need to manage your business's day-to-day operations such as invoicing, accounting, recruitment, and customer relationships should also be managed. During college, while interning at Nova Scotia Bank, he realized that the banking industry is quite slow and old-fashioned. That's why he wanted to disrupt the banking industry. His vision was to bring changes to every aspect of banking, such as payments, investment loans, and savings accounts. Take it completely online without any physical branches. With this vision, they invested $12 million and started X.com in 1999. But at that time, people didn't even trust online shopping. They didn't do it. Online banking was out of the question. Because of this, it was very difficult for Elon to bring in customers. That's why Elon came up with an amazing scheme where they offered free to every new user who joined. Started giving out $20. These $20 could be spent immediately by the customer. Along with this, there was a $10 referral bonus for referring this app to others. This strategy was so successful that in the next 2 months, X.2 lakh users came on .com. The problem was that Elon was not the only one doing this. During this time, a young entrepreneur named Peter Thiel also started a digital bank called PayPal. Both companies were spending millions of rupees on marketing to defeat each other. But at the beginning of the year 2000, they realized that if they continued fighting like this, both companies would be ruined. So in March, both companies merged. Elon was the largest shareholder and CEO of this new company, and the company's name was also X. It was Com. But after this merger, it became clear that between Elon and the founders of PayPal, there were many disagreements. While Elon wanted the company to be named X.com, the employees and customers preferred PayPal. Additionally, Elon's management style was quite ruthless. He would micromanage his employees and publicly criticize them for mistakes. Work that typically takes days or weeks, Elon expected to be done in just a few hours. During this time, Elon married his longtime girlfriend Justine, and in September 2000, they went to Australia for their honeymoon. Taking advantage of the opportunity, the company's senior executives and board of directors had them. They were removed from the CEO position and Peter Thiel was made CEO. They tried very hard to regain control upon returning, but they were not successful. However, they remained the largest shareholder in PayPal. Luckily, under Peter Thiel's leadership, PayPal experienced significant growth, and in 2003, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion. From this deal, Elon received a total of $180 million. After the success of PayPal, Elon had become one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley. But then, a very big tragedy happened in Elon's story. Due to an illness, he lost his 2.5-month-old son forever. This incident made Elon deeply impacted. He did not go home for 3 weeks because the thought of seeing the empty cradle in his home didn't have the courage. In childhood, Elon dealt with bullying by immersing himself in books and programming. Similarly, to deal with the loss of his son, he threw himself into work, immersed himself. In 2001, 30-year-old Elon started looking for an industry to disrupt again. In his childhood, he had a keen interest in space and even made and launched mini rockets. That's why he began exploring the space sector. One day, a question came to his mind as to why humans have not yet explored Mars. Why haven't they done it? He checked NASA's website and found that NASA had no plans to explore Mars, and at that moment, he decided that his next mission would be Mars. Explore. Elon met with the world's best rocket scientists and immersed himself in rocket science books so he could rocket. They began becoming experts in science. Elon launched the Life to Mars Foundation and started the Mars OSS project, whose main aim was to send a pressurized greenhouse to Mars and grow the first plant there. Their objective was to prove to the world that life on Mars, it could be. They wanted to show this experiment to the whole world world through cameras and reignite global interest in Mars exploration. Elon's plan was to buy intercontinental ballistic missiles from Russia and use them as launch vehicles. He made a trip to Russia with some aerospace experts. They planned, but negotiations with the Russians never went well. The Russians did not take Elon seriously because of his age. Elon had come here to buy 3 missiles for $20 million, but the Russians quoted a price of $21 million for just one missile. Intita ng Fobia Santa. Elon and his team had realized that expecting rockets from Russia was futile on the return flight. While his team sat disappointed, Elon was continuously working on his laptop. After a while, he told his team that now we will build rockets ourselves. On his laptop, he had all the raw materials, manufacturing, assembly, and launch. They had calculated the costs. They realized that the cost of the raw materials needed to make a rocket is only a fraction of the final rocket's cost, 2 to 3%. The rest of the costs can be reduced with better design and manufacturing processes. Elon realized that the real problem of the space industry was not that no one was exploring Mars, but the problem was that humans did not have affordable rockets to do so. That is why he was going to revolutionize the space industry, and thus started SpaceX. In June 2002, Elon purchased a 75,000 square feet warehouse and converted it into a modern rocket factory, and he hired the world's best rocket scientists and engineers from organizations like Boeing and NASA. They all had just one mission: to make rockets in the space industry that were the cheapest and the fastest. To become a company. To achieve this, Elon used several innovative strategies where other aerospace companies kept the teams designing the rockets and the teams building the rockets separate. SpaceX brought both together. This saved time and mistakes. Errors decreased. Then SpaceX adopted vertical integration. This means that parts which used to come from third-party suppliers like engines, fuel tanks, and battery packs were now made by SpaceX themselves because suppliers were slow and expensive. Finally, Elon saw that other companies in each part of the rocket are spending 2 to 3 times extra money, while the same work could be done with cheaper parts. Along with this, Elon declared that SpaceX's first rocket would be named Falcon 1. At that time, other companies to send a 600 kilogram payload to lower Earth orbit, she used to charge $70 million. Whereas Elon's promise was that he would send the same payload for only $7 million. SpaceX's target was to launch Falcon 1 in just 1 year. But despite all efforts, it took a full 4 years to prepare. It took 4 years. Finally, the day arrived in 2006. The 70-foot-tall silver-colored Falcon 1 was ready for launch. The countdown ended and the rocket began to lift off as the whole team rejoiced with happiness. Just 25 seconds later, a disaster occurred. Due to a small fuel leak, the engine caught fire. Falcon 1 lost control, burned and crashed. Elon and his team literally saw their dreams being scorched. Was there. But they gathered courage and without wasting much time, started the preparation for the second launch. Exactly 1 year later, the second launch attempt of Falcon 1 occurs. This time, 3 minutes had passed after the launch and everything seemed fine. The separation of the first stage happened perfectly. But then, the second stage engine shut down prematurely, causing Falcon 1 to start spinning in the sky and crash again. Elon was sad, but he knew that they were on the verge of success. They are quite close, and that's why they started preparing for the third launch. In August 2008, the third launch attempt of Falcon 1 happened, but success was not achieved this time either. Due to a minor error, Falcon 1 exploded in the sky. There was pin drop silence in the control room. Along with this rocket, Elon's $100 million were also gone. SpaceX now only had money for one more launch. If the next attempt was not successful, SpaceX would be finished forever. While SpaceX was struggling, Elon had another company that was on the verge of ruin, and that was Tesla. When Elon was entering the space industry, he was also analyzing the automobile industry. Elon knew that the current cars depend on fossil fuel, and fossil fuels are continuously depleting. There is pollution due to presence. Therefore, their prediction was that in the future, every country's governments will want to shift to cars running on clean energy. It means electric cars are the future. By that time, some companies had launched electric cars like General Motors EV1, but due to being slow, expensive, and having a short range, they all failed. After that, automobile companies shifted their focus away from electric cars. Elon realized that to make electric cars successful, they needed to it would need to be better than a gasoline car in terms of speed, range, price, and aspirational value. Fortunately, they found a startup working on this vision, and that startup was Tesla Motors. Tesla was started by engineers named Martin and Mark, and their idea was to make a high-performance electric sports car called the Roadster. Traditional electric cars used lead-acid batteries, but Tesla found in research that to quickly charge the Roadster and achieve a range of 300 kilometers, it would need to use the same battery used in phones and laptops, that is lithium-ion battery. Along with this, their plan was to take the Roadster from 0 to 100 kilometers in just 4 seconds. And in terms of looks and features, it was quite superior. In 2004, with this vision in mind, Elon invested $6.5 million in Tesla and became its lead investor. But as bold as Tesla's vision was, its execution was difficult. Lithium-ion battery technology was quite new, and modifying it for a car was very difficult. Tesla had estimated that they would sell each Roadster car for only $65,000, but by 2007, the cost of making the car alone, the cost reached up to $100,000. At such high cost, Tesla's business model would collapse. Understanding the urgency of the situation, Elon himself became the CEO. But before they could do anything, the global financial crisis of 2008 hit, which negatively impacted the automobile industry significantly. Aside from SpaceX, Elon had already invested all the capital he had into Tesla, and the other investors refused to invest more money, which led Tesla to the brink of bankruptcy. Basically, in 2008, on one hand, Elon's SpaceX company was on the brink of collapse after 3 consecutive launch failures, and on the other hand, Tesla Motors was also about to go bankrupt. In such a situation, any logical entrepreneur would have raised funds to save one of the companies. But Elon, they were different. They sold their McLaren car and other personal assets to invest money in Tesla so they could survive another day. Along with that, he personally got involved to make the 4th launch of Falcon 1 successful. Finally, in December 2008, the day of the 4th launch of Falcon 1 arrived. Once again, Falcon 1 was ready on the launch pad. The future of SpaceX, and even Elon depended on this one, was relying on the rocket. The countdown ended and the rocket began to lift off. The first stage was successful, the second stage was successful, and the third stage was also successful, but no one celebrated. Then a few minutes later, everyone in the control room started cheering. The confirmation had come on the screen that Falcon 1 orbit has reached. SpaceX became the world's first private company to do so. NASA awarded SpaceX a contract worth $1.6 billion. Due to the contract, SpaceX had become the world's most successful private space company. But on the other hand, Tesla was still struggling. So Elon personally contacted investors and explained that not only is their car ready, but thousands of people have also pre-ordered it. They need this funding only to mass produce the car and deliver it to customers needed. Finally, Elon's hard work paid off. They received $40 million of emergency funding on Christmas Eve, and Tesla was saved just a few days before going bankrupt. With this funding, Tesla started the mass production and deliveries of the Roadster. And with its success, Tesla achieved proved to the world that an electric car can be fast, long-range, and classy. But there was a problem. The Roadster was a 2-seater sports car which was quite expensive and made only for a niche customer segment. Elon knew that if they wanted to make Tesla a successful and large automobile company in the long term, they needed to make cars for the mass market. And that's why, in 2012, Tesla launched the Model S, a premium electric sedan that could achieve 0 to 97 kilometers per hour speed in just 4.2 seconds. Its range on a single charge was about 500 kilometers, and its looks were quite cool. But the special thing about Model S was that it wasn't a car. but a computer with wheels. It had a massive 17-inch touchscreen where users could virtually control every function like lighting, climate, navigation, entertainment, cruise control. Plus, like a laptop or mobile, through software updates in this car, improvements and new features could be added. Even the car's door handles would automatically extend when the user approached the car. Because of all this, the Model S was not just a good electric car, but much more than all existing cars. Was better. As soon as it launched, Model S became quite successful and Motor Trend awarded it the Car of the Year. After this, not only did Tesla launch its IPO, but in 2013, it also became profitable. Going forward, Tesla launched Model X, Model 3, and Model Y, and by 2017, Tesla became the world's most valuable car company. Today, Tesla is close. On the other hand, SpaceX launched the Falcon 9, which took 50 times the payload into space compared to the Falcon 1. Then in 2015, they launched reusable rockets, thereby removing the requirement to make new rockets for every launch. The cost of space travel also significantly decreased. Through SpaceX, Elon has launched thousands of satellites named Starlink into space, which provide providing high-speed internet services. And today, they are making their biggest rocket, Starship, which will be able to take humans to Mars. In addition, Elon has the Boring Company and Hyperloop to revolutionize transportation. The concept was invented. In 2015, they launched Neuralink, which implants computer chips in humans' brains so that the brain and computer can communicate directly. Elon's latest move was entering the social media space in 2023 by acquiring Twitter. Along with this, he has also started an AI company through XAI. Due to all these companies, Elon has become the richest person in the world, and his net worth is approximately $400 billion, which is almost double that of the second richest person, Jeff Bezos. But as rich as Elon is, he is just as are also controversial. Their employees have complained about tough working conditions and extreme work pressure. Even after acquiring Twitter, they fired thousands of employees in one go. Their controversial tweets often negatively impact stock prices. Finally, after donating about $280 million for election campaigning, President Trump has become quite close, which gives him a lethal combination of money and political powers, and some people fear that he might misuse them. But even after all this, one thing fits 100% when it comes to Elon. You love him or hate him, you cannot ignore him, because a person does not wait for the future, but rather creates the future themselves. This was the story of Elon Musk. If you like this video, I would recommend that you watch this next video.